Joining us this morning is Claire Chitwood. We're excited to have you join us, Claire, to share a few of your thoughts in working with Endeavor. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you've been a client a few times over the last several years, and it's been a delight each time we've had a chance to work with you. I guess share with us a little bit about some of the motivating factors that caused you to partner with Endeavor from the beginning, and then what keeps you coming back.
Absolutely. The first time that I spoke with Endeavor was when I was at a crossroads or an intersection, and I wanted to forward or advance my career. And the organization where I was, while I had been very fulfilled in that role, did not have growth opportunities. It was a smaller leadership panel and didn't have expansion options in that. And the current CEO was planning on being there for quite some time, for another 5 or 10 years.
Mhm.
And I had the opportunity of being mentored by leadership with the CEO, a president, some board members even. And I wanted to use those opportunities in a new role. And that's why I sought Endeavor. The second time I came around was actually because I had such a great interaction the first time. I know we'll talk about that a little bit more and the
Mhm.
opportunities there. But my life took a change when I became the caregiver for my ailing and aging mom and dad and had agreed to let them live out their days at home. So needed to be closer to our family farm. And so that took me back several thousand miles across the country.
Well, each time it looks like you've advanced your career and you're doing some great things with each step. What kind of challenges were you anticipating in the job market that you said, "Boy, I could really use some help there"?
There were several, actually. One of those is kind of a cliche saying is that you don't know what you don't know. And while it's cliche, it's very true. The other thing that is cliche but true is that what got you here will not get you there.
Mhm.
And a very dear friend of mine had told me that some years ago, and then I heard it repeated not too long ago. And so I needed some expert help. One of the things I really needed was an outside looking in perspective because I've also learned in my career that what you see in yourself is often not what others see in you, both good and bad. So
Mhm.
you need someone that's not a close friend or a spouse for sure,
Mhm.
because while they do know what sets you apart and the skills you have, often they don't want to give you the hard knocks or the hard conversations because they do love you or adore you or want to keep you as a friend.
Right.
So they may hold back a little bit. So I feel like you need an outside source to help.
And I know you've had some great support at home. You've mentioned your spouse that each time said, "Well, maybe it's time to call Endeavor and get some help there." What were some of the big things you experienced in working with our team that you said, "Wow, this was particularly helpful and valuable"?
There are several, but I can boil it down to two that I have a very love, not love relationship with. The first is that you all demand a lot, and that is for our benefit.
Mhm.
And you have set apart yourselves in making us successful in these job opportunities, and you really stand by that. So, with that, the first love, not love thing that you do is role playing, which I just despise. And that's a strong word, but it is the most profitable piece that I can think of. And you do it so nicely. All the team is great, but we're not actresses or actors, which is why that we're in our different careers. So role playing is very hard. It's very difficult for me. I have to think outside of the box. I kind of have to put myself on a stage that's not my comfort zone. I know all the world's a stage, but it's still difficult. And the second that's really profitable and helpful is you give me homework. I was a student for 18 plus years. I never liked homework. I tried to get away from it. The homework is as incredible and helpful as the role playing, but those are both challenges for me. And I think maybe for other type A's out there.
Absolutely. Those two things. No one likes to do role playing. We've never encountered a single client who likes it. Usually the ones who do it like you and embrace it, they come back and say, "Wow, this was very beneficial." Same thing with homework. But embracing those things, I think, is you've done amazingly well. That's why you've had such great success as a client. What advice would you share maybe with a future Endeavor client? Somebody was considering our services. Maybe they reached out to you and asked, what were your thoughts? What would you share with them to say, here's how you get the best success out of this?
Thanks for asking that. I would tell them that you get out of it what you put into it. So be prepared. Don't show up for a meeting half-heartedly. If you know you're going to role play, it works to look in the mirror and try it. It works to record yourself and hear how you actually sound. There are just some things that really work, but you're going to have to put your best foot forward. And what you put into it is what you're going to get out of actually two and three and four and five-fold. So embrace the challenges. And the other part that I would say to them is that when you all give advice, you're going to be way outside of that comfort zone in a lot of areas. We've talked about role playing and homework. There are other things such as word choice. You
Mhm.
all are experts and you do this for a reason. And there are words and phrases and expressions and things that we do that are just innate in our nature that may off put others or may just not be the best foot forward. And one thing that I really, really appreciate about Endeavor is that you're teaching us that you want us to be honest and forthright and really pursue the career where we can contribute. And a lot of us are in that stage, and COVID did a lot of things to the world. But one of the
Mhm.
things that it did really well was helping us understand life is short and that we want to be where we can contribute. And Endeavor really helps you learn that and put that honesty out there. And in those interviews, understand that you're not just being interviewed, but you're interviewing that organization and to help you find the real fit. And that is why I keep coming back.
That is wonderful. Your honesty and forthrightness today has been certainly appreciated. Getting outside your comfort zone, pushing yourself, looking in the mirror are themes that we work with constantly with all of our clients. Claire, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. We're definitely looking forward to continued growth in your career, and we're always here for you.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you again for having me.